was it that made you both want to stay here?
Tina has an answer for that. Everyone we talk to in the fishing village of Watamu, Kenya, has an answer. But sometimes words just don't cut it. The best way is to see it and feel it.
That is a legitimate river monster.
It is one of the largest migrations of bait on planet Earth.
This fish is psycho!
I think you've just done something the first time ever in the world.
My wife and I spent a lot of time traveling around the world looking for that fantastic place that we would retire to. And we've been Spain, Florida, Italy, Greece, Croatia, all over the place. And we came back to Kenya, as we regularly did, and discovered that what we were actually looking for was what we'd known as when we were children, which was Watamu.
Jeff Bell traveled the world to discover what he loved about where he came from. A destination of exquisite beauty and a humble heart. A place built on community. In Watamu, Kenya, you won't find a dock filled with million-dollar fishing machines. But it is an anchorage anchored by the fishiest group of boats you can ever find. These hulls tell the stories of grandeurs and legends, fantasy slams, and world champion anglers. Kenya is located on Africa's east coast, the equator essentially splitting the country in two. Watamu is a fishing village north of Mombasa, Kenya's main port. Watamu is a city of 25,000 in a nation of 53 million. Small town, big animals.
I don't claim to be a conservist. I'm an ambassador to the countryside because I use animals for my sport, and I've never claimed otherwise than that. I'm a good ambassador. My attitude is I love the fish in the sea, I love the animals in the bush, and they are something special to me.
Nations have borders. The wild doesn't. How far must we go to experience the fishing captured in the photos, plaques, and memories of the locals? Stick around and find out. Jeff is the owner of Ocean Sports Resort, which is tucked into Watamu's quiet cove that fronts the Indian Ocean. Sure, it's a resort with all the requisite amenities, but it's also the local gathering spot, the proverbial front porch for the fishing community.
The fishing community is a very friendly and diverse group of people. We have people who are based here as commercial sports fishermen, and we have a lot of private boats, but everybody helps everybody. Whenever there's a hookup, everybody calls it in, so everybody knows where the fish are coming up. And we have a lot of foreigners who have their own boats here, and they come down regularly for 3 or 4 months a year just to fish.
If you're fishing in Kenya, you should be aware of the weather gods that rule the waters. The 2 seasonal monsoons, the Kusi and the Kaskazi.
We have 2 definite seasons, 2 different winds that blow into Watamu. One is the Kaskazi, which is when we get really beautiful weather here. The fish come in, and that runs November to April. And then from April through to about August, we get the Kusi wind comes, and that's a little bit more intense. Not many people go fishing because it's a little bit too rough. From July onwards, the fish start to come back and the boats start to go out again.
It's February, and the Kaskazi is in full swing. They're known by different names around the world. Dorado in Central America, mahi-mahi in Hawaii. In Kenya, they use the Swahili name, fulusi.
Excellent.
The vivid vertical stripes, long slender body, and mouthful of sharp teeth make the wahoo unmistakable. A voracious striking predator in offshore waters worldwide, including the Middle Atlantic, Caribbean, Gulf of Mexico, and Pacific and Indian Oceans.
Oh no, it jumped, whatever it is.
Whether it's a blue or black or stripy or swordfish or wahoo, almost all are caught by trolling. The captain's troll lures are large strip baits. The Kenyan blue marlin record of 1,248 pounds was caught while trolling Watamu's waters back in March of 1995. In Watamu, the opportunity to land a grander or complete a fantasy slam is an achievable dream, and we've got the stories.
fantastic fantasy we had, my friend who was on the boat didn't know what to do for us. And he commissioned this painting, or I don't know if you could call it a painting, portrait of the 5 billfish species we caught. You've got the black, the stripy, the broadbill, the sail, and the blue. And it's just a reminder to me of what we did that day.
While Kona, Hawaii and Cairns, Australia garner most of the headlines for big game achievements, Watamu is a quiet peer. Round up Watamu's top captains and stories of fantasy slams flow like a falling tide.
5 species of billfish caught in 24 hours on one boat. And that day, I think the fishing gods were very, very kind, because the fish coming in and they were smashing us. On the drop-off, we had 2 blacks. Then we turned round, start to head to North Kenya Bank, and we had a stripy. So then we set in for the night on the broadbill. We ended up 5 broadbill that night. In the morning, got back into Marlin, just hit by blue. So then we had the 4 species. So we wanted the sailfish, which is Kenya's bread and butter. All the other boats started looking for sailfish for me. One boat found some sailfish and called me in. We went in and had a double hookup. I think you've just done something the first time ever in the world. The community around here is very, very good, and we've got one of the best all-round fisheries. You can go out there and catch a fantasy slam tomorrow. There's not many places in the world you can say that.
Big game and big moments seem to be a Watamu trademark. In 2022, Jeff and his ocean sports colleague, Florian Bizier, traveled to Costa Rica to compete in the prestigious Offshore World Championship. And damn if they didn't win it all.
It feels absolutely amazing. What was interesting is the people we met over there, the captain, the boat crew, the whole team of the organization. That was really the highlight for us.
The Costa Rica trip was one of the highlights of our life, because we went as complete amateurs. Instead of a lot of equipment, we took our wives instead with us. We drew very lucky boats, so we had a wonderful time. And to then go and be so lucky on the last day to win the competition, it was an absolute highlight of our life.
Today, Florian is on family time, opting for some inshore fishing with his son Hugo. Those are glass minnows. They often find themselves in an angler's chum bag or being tossed into the spread to entice game fish with their pungent scent. It's an anchovy after all. But these minnows are on the loose, flying in formation, each tiny fish trying to be invisible to predators within the swirling bait ball.
Vas-y, vas-y, je tire. Juste là, ils sont tous là. Voilà.
Oh, je vois. Oh.
Allez, vas-y. Hey. Woo! Oh, look at all the sardines here. That's amazing. Allez, vas-y. Prends la ligne. Yeah! Tiens, prends le Hugo. Attrape-le avec ta canne à pêche. Bien joué, mon grand.
An hour drive from Ocean Sports Resort, and you're in the bush, where Mark's wife Tina runs Kulalu Camp, a game reserve on the Galana River. From big game to big game in 60 minutes.
Kulalu Camp we came to in the very early days. It was very different to how it is now. It was a real Boy Scout job, tiny little tents, no power. Everything was really difficult, but the beauty of this place just really grabbed us. I was a very lucky lady and we took the lease on the place, and with absolutely no experience whatsoever, I took this place on. Living out here in the bush is quite tough, but the experiences here are just phenomenal.
Whether by land or sea, phenomenal is everywhere you go.
His huge passion is his fishing. I used to fish with him a lot, but then as the years sort of rolled by, I got sort of more and more involved in up here. But I really respect his passion for his fishing. And if he could, he'd fish 365 days of the year. He just loves the ocean.
Bummer. Big Blue lost. We've been shaken awake from our fantasy slam dream. But if you keep reading the water, it never runs out of chapters.
What's the line? Come on, boys. No more drag. Let it go.
By Christmas, striped marlin start to arrive, with their numbers peaking between January and March. The deep water around the seamounts off Watamu are the hottest spots.
Let's put him back. Cheers, guys. Thank you very much.
Well done, guys.
Cheers, guys.
The most common billfish in Kenya is the sailfish. While they can be caught most times of year, September and January are the prime windows. Much of the Kenyan coast, specifically Watamu, north of Malindi, is a prime sail zone.
What a small fish now. You want to go back, Steve?
That's all right, Jeff.
Sailfish. Well done, guys.
What was it that made you both want to stay here?
Oh, that's quite a hard one. There are so many things. I think it's the people. Definitely the people.
If I'm going to be honest with you, the friendship, the people, the community around here is very, very good.
My wife and I spent a lot of time traveling around the world looking for that fantastic place that we were to retire to. Discovered that what we were actually looking for was what we'd known as when we were children, which was Watamu.
Home isn't just an address where the mail comes. Home is also a feeling. It's a place to love and be loved. It can be half a world away or where you're sitting right now. For the lucky ones, it's both.